Hello everyone, Jennifer back again with my second video about my Midori. I did do a second video, but that was just a flip. But here is an update of my video from beginning of January when I showed you my Midori the first time. I'll put the link to that below if you wanted to see it again, or if you haven't seen it yet, if you're new to my channel, so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, you'll notice right off the bat, it's different. I've got a different charm here. What happened was I had a little nameplate that said Hope on it, and the string went through one hole behind it and out the other, and it was a little tight, and it was not made for that, so it did not slide very well, and it ended up fraying the cord. At first it got kind of fuzzy, and then it eventually broke through and exposed the elastic, and but that's okay. It gave me an excuse to put on this cute little owl charm that my younger daughter gave me for Christmas. She knows me so well. And I also put on a little key and another little thing that I can't even tell you where I got these. These have been in my stash in my studio for who knows how many years. But anyway, it just gave me an excuse to change it out. So I changed it out, and I loved it, except this thing kept sliding back over here, sliding over here whenever I would open it and close it. And so every time I closed it again, I had to kind of move it over. And Kathy on the Midori group suggested ribbon, and so I dug this. It's a cute little suede ribbon, and I just tied it on, and now it stays right where I want it. I love it. It was a great idea, so thank you, Kathy. That was something I wouldn't have thought of. So anyway, let's see what else has changed. Ooh, look at all that goodness. Yep, it's a lot thicker than it was last time. I've made some changes, got some things peeking out there that I will walk you through in just a second. Yeah, back when I made that first video, it weighed about 15 ounces, about 423 grams. And now it is 1 pound 6 ounces. My goodness, I couldn't believe it when I weighed it this morning just to check, because I just thought that'd be funny to check. 616 grams is what it's weighing in right now. So I love it. It's like chunky, it's solid. I love it. Is it okay to say that I hug it every once in a while? I bet I'm not the only one. So let's get in there. I'm going to show you the changes I've made, and then we'll get into the planner itself, because that's what I use it for. So open it up, and the first thing you'll notice is, hopefully you can see that, I have this fly leaf thing going on, and I made that with something from the dollar store. I got one of these things. This one's blue, but the one I used is clear. I bought one of each because that's all they had. It's just a file folder that's kind of plasticky. It's got this kind of a plasticky, I don't know, like a bias tape that's holding it up, and a cheap snap. But I just cut that up and made it about the same size as one of my inserts. And then I packing tape. I used clear packing tape, and I attached it to this zippered pouch that I got at the dollar store. It's got these cute little kids. I think it was kind of in January, back to school, kind of after the Christmas break, they had some office supplies on sale again. And so I got this at the dollar spot, and it's got a little place that you could put your child's name or something, but I just left it blank because I like to be able to see my pens in there. But anyway, I packing taped it together on both sides to kind of stick it, and it's sticking really, really well. And I just slipped it behind all my inserts. And so now I have this fly leaf that I could stick temporary post-it notes to. I keep a stamp right here just in case I'm out and I need a stamp. And I've already had to replace it because I was glad I had one with me one day. So I just keep a stamp or two there. And here I've got kind of just a running to-do list of things that I need to do in the future, because bullet journaling, which is I kind of bullet journal. I've kind of tweaked it for myself, but it's hard to do future planning because you're making your lists as you go throughout, your day and your week. But this is where I keep track, and I will explain more of that later. So this whole insert right here is my daily planner, and I got some other things going on there too, and I will show you that in a minute. I still have my craft folder, pocket folder thing that I had made based on Marianne's Pocket Full of Vintage is her channel on YouTube. I love this thing. It's so great. All these little pockets and things. And here's my 365-30 group questions, list questions that I glue in every day, and you'll see those in there. Some cute magnets. Gotta have a mechanical pencil for my monthly planning. And then my pen. I switched out my pen. I had a pen, Pitt pen, in a sepia tone that I was using, and I loved it, but it was running out of ink. And instead of going and buying another set just for that one pen, I grabbed a pen that I had lying around, trying to be frugal, you know. So here's the other side of that pocket folder, and in between the two sides of the pocket folder I have two monthly inserts. I've got my monthly diary where I keep track month, you know, for each month. I can write down events, birthdays, just things like that, not very detailed. And then this is my 1252 365 Facebook group insert, and this is where I keep track of my I read a hymn every day, and so I write down the name of the hymn. Here I am today. Today was Have Thine Own Way, Lord. And then my weekly goal is to make a menu plan, so I jot down in pencil, because sometimes it changes, and I do erase that and make the changes that night of what I make each week. And then my monthly goal is to make a craft project. In January I made two. I made a crocheted Blue's Clues headband sort of thing for my nephew who loves Blue's Clues, and then I made another Midori type thing for my daughter. And then February, same thing. Today I need to work on this coming week's menu plan, so that's on my schedule for today. I've already made a crocheted penguin, but I don't have a picture yet. I'll put a picture right here when I'm done with that. And then I'm ready for the rest of the year right there. So that's just for those goals. Monthly stuff here, goal stuff here. And then at the back, this hasn't changed much. I've got just a lined insert that I just I scribble things down. I don't use this one quite as much, but when I want to take notes on anything, like I was reading a book that my dad had given me, and so I was keeping notes, some really good quotes and things, and so I've got another chapter left on that. But I find myself not using this quite so much, but it is nice to have a spot that I just want to jot something down that I don't want to forget. And then my prayer requests. Since the last one, I've had a few more prayer requests, but there's plenty of room for more. And but I love having a spot for that, so that it's easy to just flip to and pray instead of having it in my bullet journal area and having them get lost in the shuffle. It's nice to have them all in one spot. And then, of course, my pens. So, all right, let's go back to the actual planner. This beautiful little thing right here. Now, if you remember from my first video and from my flip video, this was my first planner. It started on December 9th, I think it was. Yep, December 9th is when I started. I had joined that question group, the 365-30 group, and had, you know, I would do my bullet journaling. I would answer the question each day, and I was doing a page a day. So the 9th, the 10th, 11th. Here's my list of stuff. I started making a running list of things I was waiting for in the mail. So, but then back to the day, every day, and it was great. I loved it. I would, in any empty spaces, I could doodle, and I could stick things down, and it was great. I loved it, and I continued that all the way through. Here's my little, I use tabs from tea bags. They make great handles for separating the months, because here's the beginning of January. But anyway, it was just a page a day, and you know, the more stuff I had to do, the less stuff I had room for, but you know, the less stuff I had, the more stuff I had to doodle, and I loved it. Okay, and then when I got to the end, it was time to put the new insert in, which is this one. And I started doing the same thing, although I immediately transferred my stuff I'm waiting for list and have been continuing to add to it, but it's right at the front, so now it's easy to find. And so here, January 14th, I did the same thing once a day, had some room to Zentangle or doodle, okay, and then I kind of was not Zentangling as much. It was just sort of, we were at the hospital for my father-in-law, so I was, and they were giving us coupons. These are coupons for free coffee or tea at the cafeteria, and so I was just stapling things in, and I thought, ooh, I can actually fill in some of these spots while I'm sitting there waiting, but my niece was there, and so I was playing with my niece, so that was more fun. We were skipping around the hospital. Not good for my back, but it was sure fun. But anyway, again, page a day, and look at all this empty space. See that? And you know what was happening? I was feeling like, man, I have to fill that space up with Zentangles, and it was becoming a chore, and I didn't like that. And so right about in here, I started thinking, what if I broke it up and just used some of that extra space? Instead of saving that for doodling, I did another day. And I felt like the pressure's off. I don't have to. Now I have this space back here that I can eventually go back if I feel like doodling. I've got some room for it. And but the pressure was off. And so it was kind of cool. I had this, I had a package come from another group, Kathy, this is a different Kathy, the Anything Goes Planner group. She held a washi tape giveaway, and I won. And it was these two cute washi tapes that was a set. And when her package came, it had these cute stickers on it, and I think this was on the actual package of the washi tape that I peeled off the back and just taped down, and I just cut these off the package and glued them in and just added a little color, and it was like, ta-da, I love it. And I used the washi tape between the days. I don't do this every day because sometimes I start making my list before I remember to do that, but it was like right there, it was like pressure's off. I don't have to have all this extra space that I have to doodle, because doodling should not be a have to, it should be a want to, right? So that's what I started doing. I would answer my question and then put a piece of washi tape, write the next day. At the end of the day, another question, another piece of washi tape, a little bit more, and I loved it. But do you see what's happening here? All that brown, it was getting kind of hard to see what day was what. And then right about here, end of January, beginning of February, I found in my stash, I'm sure I'm not the only one that has office supplies hiding, I had these Papermate Flare felt tip markers, and I was like, I should open those up and actually use them. So there's 4 of them. There's blue, pink, green, and orange. And so right here you can see my goal, or one of my to-dos, was start using colored pens. And of course I started with green. It's my favorite. And I really liked that I had already made my list in that regular colored pen. I was still using the brown Pitt pen at the time. And just checking off in the color instead of writing it all in the color, because sometimes it's harder to read. So I said, I'm going to stick with that. And so every day is a different color. So here's February 1st, green. Answered my question, and oops, forgot to stick a piece of washi tape, and I started making my list for the next day, but that's okay. And then I just boxed it in blue, and all my check marks and arrows and such are in blue. And question, leave a space. Okay. Next one is orange. And then I did green again. I'm not going to be all crazy saying it has to be pink, blue, orange, green, pink, blue, orange, green. I don't care. As long as that on the spread the days are in different colors, just so I can see it visually, it's fine. And this page, look, it ended up being 1 page a day, and that's okay, but the pressure was not like I have to do that, right? So I got a little more room to doodle if I wanted. I didn't feel there was enough here to do my next day, so I just continued. But this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 days, a little washi tape in between the days, different color pen. Okay, and I'm getting my questions. So I love this visual. It's not really color coding, it's just separating, and it just makes it easy to spot, like, this is all one day, this is all one day. Whereas, when I first started doing this, it was hard to separate the days out. They just kind of blended together. So that is what I'm doing now. And let's see, where am I at? Okay. At our co-op, we had a Valentine party, so some stickers that I got. I got a note card from my mother-in-law that had some nice things to say, and so I washi taped that in there, and this was the postage stamps on the girls' Valentines. I know, Christmas stamps on Valentines, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. So I use that instead of washi tape to separate these 2 days. And I just love sticking things in here as I go. I don't decorate ahead of time. That freaks me out because I'm afraid, I'm going to stick it in a spot where I need to write. So, but I like to add things as I go. I had gotten this for our anniversary, and I had finished it off that day, so I took off the label just because it was pretty, and just jotted a little note about it. Sticking in some the wallpaper that we tore off of our kitchen. This is what the previous owners liked. I cannot stand it. It is boring. But I stuck some in there just to remind me of what it looked like, and that I'm glad it's gone. Here's Valentine's Day. This right here, you know what happened? I didn't pull off a piece of washi tape that was big enough. So I stuck a sticker in there. Now it looks like I did it that way, but you're the only ones that know it wasn't meant to be. And here we go. Just more. Each day, a separate color. Here's the 16th, and it's question over here. That's okay. A little more washi tape in the next day. And this is how I do it. I just stick things in. This is the candy that I gave my girls, some of the stuff I gave them, and I just love those labels. They were throwing them away afterwards. My goodness, they're not art journalists like me. So I had to save them. They're so cute. I just taped them in. Here's one. I had a lot going on that day. Had doctor's appointments for my daughter, and this was a diagram showing what's going on in her ears, so I just stapled that in. Here's another day. Continues up here. That was a short day. Okay. More color, more washi tape in between. And that's how I'm doing it. I'm just making my bullet journals. At the end of the day, I check things off, move things over, answer my question, washi tape if I remember, and start my list for the next day. I like to tip things in like this. I could have taken this and taped it down, but then I would have wasted all this space. So I like to tip it in, is what they call that, because then I can pull it back. I can still have this room not wasted. I stuck a business card. I went to a $5 art night. Our church does that. It's pretty cool. We learned how to do some mono printing, and one of the ladies there gave me her business card, so I stuck that in. And then here's my question from last night. Piece of washi tape, and here's today's list. Okay, I made this list last night, and I've added a little. I can add a little bit more as I go. Then at the end of the day, I might add some stickers. Maybe something comes in the mail today. Maybe somebody gives me something. Then I'll answer my question somewhere around in here. Maybe another piece of washi tape. And then I liked, blue is my color for today, so I can come back here, grab my blue. I can check off that I am making my updated Midori video right there, because that's what I'm doing right now. Slip it back in, and I'm good to go. So I'm really, really happy with how it's evolving. I love the color. I love the pressure is off to doodle. I just couldn't believe how much that change over a couple days, where it was like all of a sudden I felt like I have to fill those spaces with doodle, and I don't want to right now. But I still have some room, even doing it this way, that if I want to, pressure's off. I also like that I feel like I'm able to put more days in this 40-page booklet, and so that's kind of cool too. I'm not wasting so much space. that satisfies my perfectionist. I hate to waste things. And so I hope that maybe I gave you some ideas on how you can do your bullet journaling type thing. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did mention earlier, but I was going to say I was going to get back to it. This is, I keep a running list, and in fact I need to kind of revamp this because I crossed so many things off. But let's say, okay, today's Wednesday, and my husband calls and says, hey, can you check on Friday if such and such check comes in? Well, I'm not ready to make my bullet list for Friday, right? I'm not going to do that till Thursday night, but I can write on here, I can write Friday's date if it's a dated thing, and then say, don't forget to check that thing. Then, when I'm ready to make my list, I look at my monthly to see what events we've got going, and then I can make my little circled events things and any reminders I need to do with those events if there's anything. I can make my list of things I think of, and I can also go back to here and say, do I have anything for that particular date that I want to make sure I do? And if so, I can transfer it here. I don't cross it off here just in case it's one of those that gets moved over type thing, or I didn't get to it that day. But once I know I've checked it off, then I can come over here and scribble it out. I did a lot of scribbling yesterday of some stuff that Friday, this is all stuff that on Friday I said I was at the 4-H meeting. Here's a bunch of stuff I had to do, but I didn't want to do it over the weekend. So I wrote down all the things I wanted to do on Monday and Tuesday. And so on Monday and Tuesday, I pulled from that list and started. Sorry about that. My alarm went off on my tablet, so I just have to start a new video here, but I think I'll figure out how to piece it together. So yay, I get to learn something new about how to edit videos. So anyway, that's what I do with this list. I use that for things that are going to be in the future, or things I just want to make sure I eventually get to. I need to finish some notes. I need to finish that book. And so if my day isn't too busy, I might add one of those to my to-do list and eventually get those crossed off. And occasionally when this gets all messy, I just get a new scrap of paper and rewrite it. And I like having it here for now. Eventually I might do it as a post-it note on here. I don't know, because sometimes this clip kind of gets a little wonky. So having it as a sticky on here might be better. But for now, this is what's working for me. So I haven't felt like I need to change it just yet. So anyway, that's my Midori as it stands today, and always reading all the stuff on the Facebook groups, getting more ideas of what I can throw in there, and but I love it. It's absolutely fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good day. Take care.